For 13 years, I've regularly checked the satellite images of a disturbing house on Google Maps. I won't tell you where to look, unless you want something terrifying to look back at you. When I first spotted the house in 2012, however, it wasn't disturbing. It was curious, like me. I don't remember why I was absent-mindedly scrolling across that British village, sparsely populated and near nondescript. What I do remember is the reason I stopped on a particular garden behind a detached house, which stood adjacent to a few vast acres of farmland. A long T-shaped shadow was painting the lawn. It looked, to my eyes, like an oversized scarecrow. For the sake of visibility, most satellite images are snapped when the sun is at its highest, meaning shadows are at their shortest. You'll rarely see people walking out and about, and even if you do, their shades won't give them away. It couldn't have been a person standing with arms outstretched. Then again, something about my scarecrow hypothesis didn't sit well either. In any case, I was a teenager at the time and my interests were fickle. I forgot about the whole thing for years. But in 2016, my friend and I were talking about the many unanswered internet mysteries floating around, and I recalled that very personal mystery of my own from 4 years later. I showed my friend the house on Google Maps, and it was even curiouser than the first time. There were two T-shaped shades. The original was as long as ever, and the new one was half the height of the first. Very odd shadows, Oliver admitted. And it's just a residential house, not part of the nearby farmland. So why would the homeowner need scarecrows? I don't remember how I responded. The conversation took a detour into something else, thanks to the liquor incapacitating my thought processes. It wasn't until 2019 that my friend brought up the intriguing house again, so we Googled it once more. And again, the garden had changed. The second shadow had grown to the height of the first shadow. Something about the oddness of it all left me, for the first time in 7 years, quite afraid. I saw in his wide eyes that Oliver felt the same. He quickly played off his discomfort, but I noted his momentary lapse of cool-headedness, noted the hesitation which had preceded his stilted, unnatural laugh. I just didn't quite understand why we were both so afraid of two shadows. "The baby scarecrow is all grown up," he said. I didn't respond. 30 seconds later, Oliver held up his phone displaying Google Maps and said, 52 minutes. I clocked the blue line dotting a route from his apartment to the countryside house, nearly an hour away, and I raised an eyebrow. "You're not serious." "I am," he insisted. "We've been talking about this house for years. Don't you want to know what's in that back garden?" I shook my head. "Not anymore. There's something off about that image, Oliver." He groaned. "Oh, come on, Jamie. I know it's left an unscratched itch in your brain. I know you. We're not going to drive across the country to spy on somebody's garden," I said. "Well, I am, and I'd love your company," Oliver replied, shrugging. "There's only so much a bird's eye view reveals, and street view won't let us peek over those obnoxiously tall hedges. We need to see the place in person. I feel as though I may have stepped out of my body for an hour or so. Let someone else take the reins." For I only realized that I'd been coaxed in to accompany my friend as his car rolled to a stop outside that famous house from Google Maps, no longer seen as a flat roof and garden from a bird's eye view, but as a three-dimensional, horribly real structure.